Hi guys, I'm a Forester here. This will be my August update for our expenditures for our household. Now, when I retired 2 months ago, I really didn't have that great of an idea for what our retirement expenses would be. So my wife and I decided to just record everything down like we did when we first got married to make sure we knew what to expect as far as our monthly expenses. So we've done that for 2 months now. Go back and watch my July video on our expenditures if you want a lot more detail. This is going to be a much shorter video, but this is for the month of August. Now, I just read a Bureau of Labor Statistics report on consumer expenditures, and for the average middle class family, my age 70, the average expenditures for a month is $5,429. And I guessed that we were going to be somewhere in there, somewhere between $5,000 and $6,000 per month. In the month of July, we were right in the upper end of that. And they had some good news is that for retirees 75 plus, and this is for average middle class families, this expenditures actually went down, and they get down the older you get. It was down to $4,419 per month. So I thought all that was interesting, and it'll be interesting to see what ours averages out over this year. All right, so you're familiar with this book if you watched the July update on our expenditures. I recorded everything. I'm going to go to the data and give you the results for the month of August. Stay tuned. Okay, here's the book that we record everything in. You've seen it for the month of July. And then here's the start of August 2025. You can pause this and look at this in detail. And if you have any questions or comments on any particular line item, just text me or comment below. Okay, so here it is ending up August and some summary statistics, and I've already started the month of September. And I'll give you these summary statistics. I rewrote them so you could read them. But this is for the month of August. So our total expenditures, both essential and discretionary, were $5,889 for that month. Now in July, we spent money just about every day of the month except for 3 days. It was different in August. We consolidated our expenses and we spent money 19 out of 31 days, so roughly half or 2/3. So I just want to remind you, I'm not going to go into detail, but this doesn't include income taxes. I'll settle those up at the end of the year. It doesn't include medical insurance, and it doesn't include charitable giving, because I'm going to do that through a QCD at the end of the year. All right, so I thought this part was very interesting to me. So expenses per day, including both essential and discretionary, it was $190 per day. But if I took out discretionary and just essential, it was $45 per day. I was amazed at that. I thought it would be a lot more than that. It was around $100 per day in July for just essential. And to give some explanation for the month of August, we did have some big expenses. So you remember in July we bought our carpet for a living room. We had it installed, here it is, $258 to install that carpet in early August. Then we had to buy, we didn't have to, it was discretionary, but we bought living room furniture, almost $4,000. Our Amazon Prime account came due, their annual dues, $148. They keep going up, it seems like. And then we wanted to protect that carpet, so we put up a dog gate. That was $100. And these 4 items right here accounted for 76% of all expenditures. So if you've noticed for the month of August, and it was the same way for the month of July, our discretionary expenditures far exceeded our essential expenditures. So those large discretionary expenditures are going to last for a while. I made a list of the things that came to my mind. You can try to read those, pause it and read them if you want to. But we did the living room, so we recarpeted the living room and refurnished it with a couple of sofas. Auto insurance comes up this month in the month of September, and that's going to be close to $2,000 for 4 vehicles. Homeowners insurance will come due in October. We're wanting to take a trip to Europe in October. I'm trying to make those plans right now. And we have a large number. So you'll see on here, garage doors. I want to have my truck painted or do it myself if I find the time. We want to continue on with remodeling our house, and the laundry room is probably next. And it goes on and on. I won't go through that whole list. But discretionary projects will run out eventually, and then we'll be more down to just essential expenditures, and it'll probably follow the path of that Bureau of Labor Statistics report that said retiree expenses go down over time. So this month, I think it was about $5,800. I've already forgotten the figure. Let's see, $5,889. Last month it was $5,804. I think so, if I can read it right, $5,804. And our Social Security income is somewhere around $5,665, I believe. So we're a couple $100 over our Social Security. But if you remember, in the beginning when I started retiring, I looked at some examples of other people, like Buzz, for instance, what they spent in their retirement. My mother, I think she lived off of her Social Security income and banked her state pension. She was an English teacher, a high school English teacher. And just looking at our normal expenditures, I felt like we would fall right in there between $5,000 and $6,000. So I'm using our Social Security income revenue as a benchmark for our expenditures. Not that I have to, but it just seemed like that's where we normally are to meet all of our essential expenditures plus some wants, all our needs and some wants. Okay, so if you have any comments, comment below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.